Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Amazing. Everyone had their coffee. My name is Adrianna Munoz, and I'm going to talk about everybody's favorite topic, conflict. Ooh, I know it's so early. I don't want to talk about conflict, but this is important because everybody in this room will encounter conflict in some capacity. I've had a chance to chat with a few people. We have a lot of solopreneurs in the room, people who work in part of a business that's much larger. Maybe you work part of a really small team. So conflict looks different for everybody. It's my bread and butter. I think it's the best thing in the world. And I'm not here to convince you in just 15 minutes of that, but I want to shift your perspective just a little bit on conflict. So I'm going to start out with a situation that maybe everybody in this room has thought of. Who's ever sat in a meeting and you're sitting there just thinking to yourself, oh my God, this could have been an email. If you've been in that situation, oh, I heard, okay, I'll take that as agreement. Yes, it is a tremendous waste of time. It's so annoying and it just kills productivity. And the reason why that happens is because meetings can be really difficult to plan. It takes a lot of intentionality. You have to get the stakeholders engaged. You have to make sure that the agenda's set up. You have to make sure that people are in the right headspace going into this meeting. And I want to take this one step further. Who here has ever had a conversation with their boss and you walk out of that meeting going, what the heck just happened? Ooh. And you walk out of that meeting feeling so cruddy. And you're like, I don't know if that was feedback. I don't know if I did something wrong. I don't know if something's expected of me. And that happens because so many times people don't plan for those really challenging conversations. They don't take the time to get to the root cause of things. And getting to the root cause rather than just addressing the symptoms can be the difference between walking out of a meeting feeling maybe a little bit peeved, but understanding what's expected of you, or walking out thinking, I have no idea what just happened. And that happens all the time in the professional world. Before I dive into anything, I want to introduce myself. I do know a lot of people in this room, but I want to qualify why I'm this woman up here talking about this really heavy topic. I love conflict. My background is ER nursing. Everybody's mad in the ER all the time. Nobody wants to be there. I see people on the worst days of their life. I started stepping into leadership roles, and then I had to manage people who were taking care of these really sick people that were also upset. And I realized that a lot of leaders shy away from these conversations. And this isn't without consequences that this happens. This can be lost revenue. This translates to people leaving the company. Avoiding these conversations has very real consequences. And now I help people step into these conversations with intentionality, kindness, and assertiveness. Because you can show up and want to win for yourself and the people on the other side of the table too. And I do that through workshops, keynote speaking, and also coaching for companies. And today, like I said, we're going to explore how digging beneath the surface of a conflict can help you transform something that's recurring and really annoying into something that could be a solution for your business. So we'll start here. Why does root cause matter? Because this shows up in a few different ways. Unclear roles. Let's say you are working with other people on a big project and you're just not meeting your expectations. You're going to keep pushing back the deadline, but that doesn't address the real issue, which is you just don't know what the heck you're doing. You don't know what's expected of you. You don't know what's expected of the other person. You don't know what the deliverables are. The list can go on, but this is what it could show up as. It could show up as misaligned expectations. And I know everyone in this room has heard this too. That's not my job. That's their job. It's a lack of clarity, and that happens. And I'm challenging everybody in here to work with their team to be clear to the point of nauseam. Put it in an email, say it in writing, follow up with people, because that clarity is going to help expedite the work and save the company a lot of money. And then also personal stressors. People show up to work with their own trauma. Life is hard. We don't know what people are going through. So are people even in the right headspace to have these conversations? As a leader, you don't need a formal title to be a leader. How can you create psychological safety for people that are coming to you and engaging in this conversation that can be really challenging? Because if we only address the symptoms, the conflict will keep popping up. But if we find the root cause, we can address it completely. And so this is what symptoms can sound like. And they sound different in every business. And we have a wide variety of business professionals in here. So I encourage you to think about maybe what this could sound like as you work with clients, if you're a solopreneur, if you work with your team, or if you are C-suite and you have to engage with the directors and the employees that they manage. This could sound like, man, we have a lot of turnover in this position. I know when I was in management, I could not figure out why I could not fill a position. I didn't have a comprehensive idea. I was addressing the symptoms, not the underlying root cause. And then another one is, why does this person keep messing this up? I've shown them how to do this 15 times. Are they actually understanding what's expected? That's the clarity coming into play. Or is something just not clicking? Do they have a different way of learning things? Or this, I know everyone in here has had this one. This client just keeps coming back to me with unrealistic expectations. Was the contract clear? Have you set appropriate boundaries? Does the client know what they're responsible for and that you can't be an angel coming to solve everything for them? Because symptoms, when they're addressed, not the root cause, the problem will keep coming back. And here are a few tactics that you can use, because I'm not just going to throw a problem out there and not give people a solution. I'm challenging everybody to define the problem very clearly. What happened? What were people feeling? When did this happen? Objective facts. We want to identify stakeholders. So if you've already tried resolving something with somebody directly, is it time maybe to escalate this problem? Is this something to delegate to HR at this point? Or if you're a manager, are your employees bringing problems to you that actually aren't yours to solve and they're just trying to give you things? We're going to gather that information and look for patterns. That recurrent role that I couldn't fill. I work with a client and they have recurrent problems with their boss, but they haven't set clear boundaries with them. They get text messages every morning before the sun is up. Does the boss even know they're doing something wrong? There's a pattern. This communication is also present in other parts of the team. This problem can be present in other parts of the team as well. And then I know people in here, has anybody heard of lean methodology? Yes. It's continuous process improvement, but we could use something called the 5 whys. And this is very simple. You just ask why 5 times. So get into toddler mode and just ask why. Why? And usually by the 5th time, the root cause is very clearly identified and articulated. The trick here is you have to ask it with kindness. You can't go, why? It has to be, why? Kindness. But it really does work.